shine. It's that morning marijuana motivation time. Your host with the mostest, Marquis Saint. And every morning I get up and I'm blessed to be alive. And this is another one of them. The sun will come out tomorrow. No, it comes out today. It's so quick how fast things can change, from rain to shine, and how much of that is in our mind. And if it wasn't for a full day, like a full day in the park, like a homeless person, I slept, didn't sleep, I relaxed and watched my mind go from thought to thought and things that I've achieved in my life and I'm grateful for. I didn't even get to realize it, right? But slowly but surely, my dreams have been achieved. Can you believe? I believed, and now they're a reality. I run around the world, traveling, doing my own business, making my own shirts, and that's Saints Addiction leg out. So it's not, easy to wake up at the print shop. I sleep here at night sometimes, just sleeping right there on the couch, having my own thoughts, having my own mind, and I'm grateful for it because there was a peace of mind that started to happen inside my mind, inside my soul, inside my life, where I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. I don't even have weed anymore. Haven't had a weed in almost 2 weeks. I've been smoking some of that already been vaped stuff my buddy gave me. It looks like ground coffee, but that's all for me, man. I wanted my thoughts. I wanted my reality to let the sun gravitate around me, that I literally asked for this. I said my biggest wish was to travel the world and be able to create my own business. And in my mind, I had a lot of these rocks in my Saint slides. In my mind, I had a dream, and the dream was big. It was scary. It was something that I was like, oh shit, travel the world, with what money, bro? Your mind would like to combat your dreams instead of believing, like I'm listening to every morning, my Napoleon Hill, my Neville Goddard, the amount of not only positivity that you can pump your brain full of, but also the visuals that I was getting from the trees and the leaves and the sun in them. And I was just like, this is what dreams are made of, the ability for me to be able to breathe. I wasn't smoking. I was just chilling and thinking and relaxing and letting the idea come around that I too made this pass. I too chose this life, that I wanted to be free from my mental slavery and free from my fear and free from other people's judgment and all the other things that are unreal. I wanted to make sure that I was real, that I was like, I am here. How many times do you go back inside your life? Of course, I'm trying to go away from all the loud, and here we are, construction zone, but can't leave it alone. But I left my fear. I started to realize that I told myself a long time ago. There was a bunny literally that just came in from underneath here. Let me get past some of this noise. Let me get these Chevrolets. Come the fuck on. I got pebbles in my shoe. Kick these pebbles out. Come on, bitch, get the fuck on. Yep, loud shit like this, away from you. You were banished from my concentration, and that's what ends up happening. I realized that by putting definite aim on what I wanted, started to develop. Matter of fact, we just developed our own social media poster, something that I've been dreaming about for over 10 plus years, of having all these accounts, all these things. Why is this guy driving so close to me? All these domain names had to have Instagrams and Twitters, and I had over 100. I still have over 100 Instagrams and 100 Twitters, and everybody's like, you got too many domain names. You got too many domain names. Nobody's ever gonna do it. Why don't you just do everything on shirts? Why can't you just concentrate? And I was like, you don't see what I see every day as Warren G. Lyrics on shirt. You don't see my shine. My idea was to create a click funnel that included everyone. that I couldn't just do a dogs on shirts. I had to have cats on shirts. And it wasn't enough to do lyrics on shirts. It needed to be movies on shirts. And it wasn't enough to just be creating these things. I wanted to create the thing that posted on everything. And I'm like, well, it doesn't work. You need a whole team of people. Here comes the other flip side, right? You'll need like 10 Indians, dots not feathers, in India posting your shit all the time. And I said, well, maybe true for you, but not with AI. It's literally got a workflow that takes everything from my Google Drive and posts for me. I was like, that's what I've been waiting for, or that's what I've been working towards. And that's what it is. It's a mental clarity that only, a sober mind, a still mind, a mind that is addicted to positivity and not the outcome. This is what happened. I was sitting there and I was like, by the end of Mass visiting me from Denmark, when I was supposed to go down Denmark, the one thing that I wanted was the social media poster, and that's what I got. And I was just shocked. I was just like, holy shit, it's finally here. You know what I mean? Like the thing that I've been wanting the most, just a little bit of fresh air. I was so still. I was in the park, much like this, and just watching the days go by, getting away from the traffic, getting away from my own mind. The lies that can be told inside of a human being are very bold. I want to kind of get away from all the sounds and keep hearing street sounds. So we're going to just keep cutting till we don't hear street shit no more. And that's what ended up happening, I was like, this is what I asked for. Can you imagine the biggest dream that you can have? And by the end of the regime, I had a social media poster, bro. I had something in my eye, but I also realized that my dream is alive. Like, I'm here. This is Finland. I love my life. I love it now. I'm not hating on it no more. I love that my muscles are tight. I love that my legs still work. I love that my mind can go anywhere. I haven't even decided yet where I'm going to go after Finland. I know we're going to be in Vietnam. I know I've never been there before, but I know I'm going to boldly go. And just like that, I don't know where I'm going. I'm just going. And I know I have the ability to go, which makes me feel even better inside, that I could realize my own dreams in my life, and that they're not someone else's dreams, that they're my dreams, that this is my company, this is my life, this is what I dreamed of. And it was like, holy shit, this is what it's all about. It's about that concentrated effort. It's about that positive attitude. It's about that consistency and keep digging. Even this morning, I'm on the, holy shit, look how much hard work I've done. There's this old lady, she's got her fucking, you can see her chilling. She's got a nice little spot. That all the hard work paid off, that I could still be homeless, but still be hopeful, that I could turn something negative into something positive, that I could make my own thoughts a reality. Like I said, I was going to do this, and I did it. And that was the whole thing. Most of us, we don't give ourselves enough credit. These modern homes in Finland, it looks like I'm in England, that you don't get yourself enough credit, that you could own a home like this and live in Finland with a big square yard and a big fence. I could easily snap my finger and make that Thailand. I could easily snap my finger and make that Brazil. And just like that, my dreams of being able to sell my clothing around the world, owning my own print shop, reliable models, wearing them, I was just like, this is what I'm gonna do, And whether a girlfriend left me, good, fuel for the fire. Whether it was heartbreak, I did something for Saints Addiction. And I thought a lot about her, that one ex-Russian chick that I dated. I was like, oh, my little heart is so broken. And I went there with, just gonna go walk around. And the billionaire was telling me she's an anomaly. That didn't really happen. And I'm sitting there chopping trees with this dude, making fences, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, that didn't happen. And I was like, that was so rude, I was like, dude, it did happen. Look at these beautiful flowers. It did happen, and it happened to me. And I needed those things to happen to me. I needed South Korea prison to happen to me. I needed her to leave me. I needed my own abilities. And that's what I saw inside me, this ability to keep going and not stop because someone didn't understand me, and not give up because it wasn't there already, or needing it so badly because it was going to mean the most to me. Here we go. Here's the new home. Anybody want some? You know, it meant that much to me to have some sort of peace inside my life, and some sort of goal to chase, and something that made me become a better man. You know, that's what you want to do. You want to be a better human. And that's inside of all of us. It's just, what are we telling ourselves? You know, if you're in there and you're worried about what other people will think, they're not worried about you. You know, that don't pay the bills. Love don't pay the bills, and neither does worry. So why give them free space inside your mind? Why not let your mind go out and create a new idea, a new thought that turns into new action? Once you're in action, there's no stopping you. Like, a person that's determined beats out a person that's got talent, beats out a person that has connections, beats out a person who's got nepotism. You know, my daddy got me here. Well, your daddy can't keep you here. Just like I told my friend, you can't protect your son from the world. You got to let him man up. She wouldn't know anything about it. All she knows about is nurture and care and protection. You know, I'm like, you know what? As I watched a father play with his son in the park, you know, he roughed him up a little bit. You know, he pushed him down, dragged him around. The kid was like, all like, no, I'm not going in there. I'm not going to do that. You know, he's like, you better go get that ball, boy. And he was like, nah, and he laid down and he started dragging him on the ground just like this, you know. Yes, you will. You'll get that ball. And I'll show you why. Because this is what kind of men we are. You know, we're kind of men that you could push us down, we'll get back up. We're the kind of men that you could try to go around, but we're here, you know, blocking the goal. We're playing goalie, you know. We're here showing you what toughness looks like. And it looks like that ain't hard, you know what I mean? You know, get back up. I'm getting away from construction zones. I don't know how I'm getting all around these noises, but I'm gonna keep going. And it was just that I was watching the training, that all this energy that you get in your life, and finally you get to like your 20s to 40s, and it's time for you to actually be something. You know, listening to Pearly Things, talk with my boy John. It's complicated on the channel, but it's true. That's what your value is, especially for women. They're born with their value. Men, we have to demonstrate our value. And I don't know why these boys are coming on my side of the fucking fence, but they can get their bikes and go somewhere with it. You know what I mean? And I was shocked by it, bro. I was completely shocked by how many people want to get close to me. You know what I mean? I'm really shocked by how many people were in the park almost naked. I was like, oh, it's a naked park, you know, caw. And also I was shocked by how much time we have for training, right? Without our jobs, right? Without our bills, right? Without our wants, right? What else is there in life to do? You know, if you're not chasing it, right, then it's chasing you. You know, it's chasing you away from your dreams. It's chasing you away from your focus, and it's chasing you away from your ultimate goal. The ultimate goal for all of us is procreation. Nobody really wants to talk about it, but as I listen, you know, it's not masturbation, waste of energy, you know, it's not messaging, you know, that's not communication, and it's not buying, that's just covering up what's inside, you know. It was our achievements, you know, our ability to move ourselves, our movements. You know, my shout out to my boy Mo Morgan is the owner and creator of Organized Movements. Give him a like. I'm very proud of him, you know. And it was one of these things where I watch kids like him get up at 7 a.m. and manifest at night 3 things that they wanted, and in the morning 3 things that they're grateful for in the morning, 3 things that they're grateful for at night, and something that they're dreaming for in the future. That's where it's at, you know, our mindset, you know. And if I didn't set my mind to this objective, if I didn't see myself just walking the trees or walking in the breeze or taking off the coat and just enjoying the day, it's not raining anymore. That weather has changed. And you too can change your patterns. You too can change your mind. You can change all the things that you have inside you. See, this is why I get away from cars. They can't get here, baby. You can get off my life and I can get into my life. And that's why I love my life, because it was something that I didn't used to love. It used to be a torture zone up here in my head. It used to be a lot of dread, and I couldn't stop the negative, and I didn't see much hope in anything, and everything seemed personally against me, till I took some accountability and said, if it's meant to be, it's up to me, Richard Bajan. If it's meant to be, then I'll make it happen. I'll be the one that plants positivity after saying negativity. I'll be the one that does the work when no one else wants to. You got 3,300 calls to make? Good. I'm doing 100 a week. It's going to take me a while, but eventually, step by step, it'll be it. And most of us, I was watching it. Look at this bunny. He's trying to hide in the crevice. Look, they got a little home down there. How cute is that? There's a little burrow. Oh my God, the bunnies have a burrow. And that's where it's at. It's in the mindset that you said, yeah, sure, you can piss in my Cheerios, but I'm not going to eat that. I'm not going to eat your belief. I'm not going to double down on what you think is my reality. My reality is defined by me. And if you're too scared to call strangers, then you'll never get there. If you're too worried about other people's opinion, then it'll never happen. And if you're too worried instead of being a believer, then for sure you're going to be true. It's what it is. You believe in you, or you believe in your fear. One of the things have to take place in your own reality. You're going to have to take a stance for something. They say you stand for nothing. You don't stand for something, you stand for nothing. That kind of behavior is so true. When we have the ability to change our mentality, to change our behavior, and to change our habits, then nothing's going to stop you. That's persistence. And again, it beats talent, it beats nepotism, it beats quick rises. It's the persistence. It's the drip by drip. It's the call after call. It's the I'm going to keep going no matter what somebody tries to put in front of me. And there was distractions in the park, man. There were some beautiful girls there. And I was like, part of me wants to look at their ass, drink a beer with them, and go party and go have some sex. And the other part of me was just like, you need one day of quiet. You need one day of just peace inside your mind, inside your body, inside your life, to reflect on this thing called your life. And that's what I did. I had a full day in the park. I let it sink in. I got away from the cars, even though they want to follow me. And I started to go towards my dreams. I said, this is it. They said, feel it in the moment. Just like Neville Goddard would say, feel it in the moment, Reach into your thoughts so hard that you visualize and actualize the things that you're dreaming of. Can you feel the plush carpet between your toes when you wanted to be in the hotel room with your girlfriend and she's got the outfit and where's the city at? I don't know. Did you try hard enough to see the vision? Did you practice it day in and day out? Or did you go, well, my feelings felt this way, so I don't even want to look at it that way? And that's what we'll do. We'll let our feelings take place. Instead of telling our feelings what to do, like, this too shall change. It's a rainy day. I'm going back inside. Man, the sun came out. It's already drying up the rain. Look at that. It's poking out, bro. I put the St. Shades back on. And look, it's drying up too. And it smells good. So what's your excuse? We have a lot of excuses. We have a lot of ways of letting ourselves down, and that's why we don't accomplish anything. We'll give ourselves the exit, we'll give ourselves the excuse, and then nothing will happen. So if nothing changes, then nothing will change. And that's the biggest thing that had to change in me, was my accountability. Watch, all these motherfuckers have to stop for me. You see that? No, they're supposed to stop, but he's an asshole and he knows it, That's what I'm saying. I'm assuming that not only he's not going to hit me, but I'm going to do the work and not even make an ass out of myself, but be accountable to my assumptions and say, yeah, man, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go between the raindrops because this is where the trees are. This doesn't have rain here because there's a tree up there. And if I do the work, no one can take it away from me. If I'm not afraid to call strangers and introduce them to myself and believe in our products. Like, yo, I'm using this myself. I'm using video in a sec, and it's got me a bunch of reviews. Like, I'll be like dropping videos. I'm working on them right now, dropping the videos, right? And nobody even knows that I'm scheduling them 5 a day. And then we just made a workflow that could do 100 a day. I could post literally cats on shirts till I'm blue in the face, and it'll actually generate the income, or not the income, it'll generate the image. So what a blessing it is to sit here and go, I got more free time to enjoy these things called life, and my breath, and my smells, and my visions, instead of, why isn't my bank account the way that it is? I'm like, I'm still alive. I distinctly remember being on this. I was sleeping on, or relaxing on. I didn't get to sleep in this park. I was just kind of in a zone, a meditative zone. But in the park, on the bench, it's a concrete bench. And I'm like, I distinctly remember looking up from my metal bunk in prison and going like, this is horrible, bro. I could be in Thailand. And sure as shit, I was just like this. I'll show you. I was looking up at the blue sky, right through the clouds like that, bro. Like, look how free I am. Look how green this is. I fucking did it, bro. I'm here. Look at weird ass Finland. Their weird ass parking garages. I'm here. Foreign places, seeing foreign sights. You don't believe me? Try pronouncing this. Kalviki. You know what I mean? And it was just like, dude, you did it. You did it. You went to a different country and you survived. And you went around the world and you made it. And guess what? You brought your fucking shirt designs and people are buying it. I went to the print shop. I'd sleep at the print shop. I went to the thing. Why are people so close to me always? I don't never know. Are you going somewhere with yourself or are you just pulling up? Weirdos, man. But that's what I do. I sleep in the print shop. I wake up in the dream. I got to realize my own reality, trying to avoid other human beings, and have a peaceful moment with myself to say, I'm not in prison anymore. I'm not in jail. I'm free at last. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at last. And that was it, to be able to wake up and not want anything. Notice I'm not smoking, yearning for my own clarity, because the clearer my mind can get, the more real my dreams are. And the fact that everything that I wish for is starting to happen or already has happened. I asked for my health. There went my gut. That's my fasting. That's my own accountability, not drinking those those Coca-Colas in the morning like my buddy did. As soon as he got here, he's popping Coca-Colas. And I was like, ooh, I want a Coca-Cola too. But then I looked around his desk and I was like, there's nothing but energy drink cans and Coca-Cola cans. And I was like, that's not healthy. And what did he do? He popped 2 of them this morning. I would have been drinking his Coca-Colas and he would have been mad at me because I took sugar away from him. That's how you know you're addicted. Because if you can walk away from it seriously and not be mad at it, then it has no control over you. You need to have control over yourself and be like, I don't need anything. I don't need a stimulant to wake me up in the morning. I don't need coffee on shirts. I don't need weed on shirts. I don't need beer on shirts. I don't need any of those things. Matter of fact, all I need is me. Go ahead, pull up. And that's what started to dawn on me, that I needed me more than I needed weed, that I needed my stability more than I needed stimulus. And I also needed my dream more than I needed my sleep. And that's what I was like really realizing. I was like, holy shit, I made it. I made it to the point where at print shops around the world, I can make any dream come true. Inside here, we can print anything that you ever needed. Of course, there's a garbage truck trying to come up when I'm trying to talk to you guys. Of course, there's a bus that wants to come around when I'm not telling no lies. Of course, there's going to be times when you're going to be like, oh, this doesn't work. This isn't what I wanted. And then I just look people in the eyes and I go, is that your fear or is it mine? Can I not just look at people and then look away and play with my Ray Charles eyes? Or do I not have the energy to say, I'm here for it, dude? You're looking at a fellow human being. You're looking at a real one, someone that realized his own dreams and didn't just come and start telling other people's stories, but my own. And it was something that really shocked to me. And I was like, holy shit, I am the guy that made it from South Korean prison. I'm also the CEO of Intersect.ai. And we also made a voice AI agent, right? I'm trying to avoid all these loud trucks. We have my voice AI agent. We now have a social media poster. And what is the other one we get? The video in a sec, bro. It's just eating up all my content and just spitting it back out and scheduling it at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 6 p.m., midnight, 12 p.m., and a random time. And I'm over everywhere. Like, my numbers have blown the fuck up 15 times. So everybody's trying to 10x. What about 15x? What about living overseas? What about learning different languages? Whatever your mind can believe, your mind can achieve. And that's one of the hard things that we don't want to do. We don't want to be the type of person that's accountable for our actions. That's the thing. We want somebody else to come through and do something for us. And I'm like, no, do it for yourself, man. Don't do it for someone else's. Oh, so they're gonna be so jealous. I was watching one dude. He was what was it, Gilbert Arenas? Gilbert Arenas was doing some shit where he said he was looking at the cars, right? And they're like, look, we're already at salary cap at the Golden State Warriors, but all 4 cars out front are yours. And he was like, oh man, I'm gonna make my ex so jealous. He forgot to even listen to the terms of the contract. They're like, see, I told you stop listening to your base energy, your lower energy, and start using your head. Stop thinking like a ninja and start thinking like a genius. And he was like, oh yeah. You know, it's like, dude, he can offer you $4 million extra a year. You could buy all those cars 10 times fold. And that's when I get grounded, you know? That's when I realized that I was telling myself, realized that only I was believing. And instead of believing in myself, pass the pocket challenge, you know? I started to believe in my dreams. I started to see that eventually, yeah, they are scary, and sure, you can't see them, plastic pocket challenge, but they're real to me, you know, that I'm really here in Finland. I needed to let that sink in, and that I really do have designs, and I really do have over 100 domain names, and I really do have a site launcher, site in seconds. It'll launch your sites too. You want something to answer the phone for you? We got a voice AI agent. That's our Aura, our automated user response agent. And yes, I picked that name. And then also, social media poster, that after my guy would come over here from Denmark, we and him would have something that will post social media for us every time. Look at this thing. Construction. Have you seen these kind of trashes? This is how they do trash on an industrial scale here in Finland. So, you know, it never seems to fail that when you take bold action, like calling 3,333 people, it was easy to do the email blast. That was a button away. And it was easy to do the SMS blast. That was another button away. But calling 3,333 people because I said I would, let's go. Starts with one. And people are like, it's impossible. I'm like, nothing's impossible. I'm possible. You just have to do the work. And that's what we do as quick, clever monkeys. We just go, it's too much work. I'm not disciplined enough. I'll always be powerless to the food. I'll always be powerless to the cigarettes. I'll always be powerless to the sex. And you're just like, you haven't seen your control, your self-control, your spiritual sphere that comes in here and say that I am who I say I want to be. And not because I was dictated by somebody else, but because I chose it. And that's when I started to rise. That's when I started to shine. What do you need?
That mat. Heat press mat.
Should be in there. No? I'll come look. Yeah. That's what it is, dude. You're gonna have to be the type of person that makes everything your own reality. And that's what I'm grateful for, is that I don't live someone else's dream. I don't live in fear. I don't make up excuses for other people. I literally make it happen, Captain. And that's why I make it happen, Captain is one of my shirt designs. So I'm grateful. They're already hollering at me. They're gonna need my help in here. I don't know where the mat would be, but it should be in there with it, because there was nowhere else for it to be. And that's me saying peace. So holy shit, check out how they take out this trash, bro. I'm telling you, it's a full-on trip. Look at this. Look at it, look at it, look at it, look at it. Look at it, look at this. Look at this. This is how trash is taken out in Finland, bro. What a fucking trip. Fucking full on engineering and shit. So next time you think things are impossible, make it possible. Make your life your own reality and make it happen, Captain, because we all have the ability to change our destination in our minds. It's just how powerful we can keep our minds inside of our lives. Instead of the things that we're afraid of, instead of the things that you're scared of, right? The plastic pocket challenge is real. And look at this guy. He's just over here, just like that, with a controller. And that's how you take out the trash. So that was my full day in the park yesterday. I feel at peace. I'm not smoking anything. And life is a blessing. So stop stressing. It's your boy Marky Saint. Peace and love. And as always, Chigathon. That means goodbye, but not forever in Finnish. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, and subscribe. The other side of your fear, the other side of your excuses, and the other side of the world, because that's where I'll be. Peace. Pina Copa. Come holler at me. Saints Addiction. I'm out. Have a blessed day.